Okay, so it's been a little while since I've done a video. And the last video that I actually did was not here. I was involved in the photography pubcast video. And to be honest with you, I watched that video and I wished I'd never done it. I wished I'd never took part in it. And the reason is because I cringe every time I watch it, and I've watched it a couple of times and I think, Dave, you shouldn't have done it. I got offered the opportunity by Gary. I can't remember Gary's last name. Problem with me is it's the weekend and I've had a few drinks. But anyway, let me explain. So Gary was like the main guy who does the photography podcast. He'd said to me, come on it. And I said, yeah, come on it. And he said, well, I'll have a word with the guys and we'll get you on in whatever it was. And nothing, that never materialized. So a while later, it came up and it said that they're having this like open sort of session and, people can come along. So I went along and that day, that particular day, was a real bad day for me. And I'd had some bad news, and I'd had a few drinks. I'd had more than a few drinks. To be fair, I was pissed. I was really pissed, drunk. And I was just sat here mulling over things, and I thought, podcast. So I went on YouTube, browsed around, and next thing I know, I'm clicking on it, and I'm invited into it, and I'm there live on it. And I made a total tit of myself, to be fair, and I wished I'd never gone on it that night. And to all the guys who were on the podcast, I apologise unreservedly. Because I didn't like what I seen that night, looking back at it, and I shouldn't have gone on. But the fact was, for those of you that know me, that know that I'm a carer for my dad, and I have been for quite a few years, and we're really close. We've been best mates ever since I was able to call him Dad. So, and I'm in my early 50s at the moment, and so that's a long time. But he'd had a couple of falls, and we'd had him up to hospital and different things, and different tests were done. And he one night woke up, and I heard him coughing, so I went in, because that's what I'd do. I get about 3 hours sleep every single night that goes by, and it's my choice to do it. That's why I work part-time. Money's not great, but there's more things in life that are more important than money, and I've never been one for chasing money, so I just didn't give a toss. I'd rather look after my dad and be skint and get him by. But anyway, I went in this night, and he was coughing up blood, clots of blood as big as slugs. And I knew straight away that there was something wrong, something serious. And I got him up to hospital. And I was given false information because the doctor that was dealing with it all turned around and said he's got pneumonia. And I thought, great, pneumonia it's bad, but he'll fight it, he'll be okay, because he wasn't struggling for his breath and everything like that. But time went by, and they said, look, we're going to keep him in. So I said, well, I think that's the best thing anyway. So he ended up staying in hospital for just over 7 days. And when I went up there, this is when all COVID is on and everything. They don't want people in the hospital, but they said he's getting really agitated and he's not himself. So we'll allow you to visit. So when I got up there, he was talking about breaking out and everything. And, it was as though he was being held captive in hospital. But then I seen the doctor, and the doctor says, well, you know what's up with him and stuff like that. I said, yeah. I said, he's got pneumonia. And doctor looked at me and says, no. I said, well, that's what I was told by doctors at A&E. And they said, no, unfortunately, he's got lung cancer. I said, oh, right. Big shock. So they did all these tests and stuff like that. And he was released from hospital. And prior to that, the doctor had come out and tested him for dementia, and he said he'd scored really low on the test that they do, and basically he's got dementia. Well, this was around 2.5 months ago in November time, and since that time in November when he'd had these falls, I've noticed major differences, major in forgetting things and other things, and I just knew something was seriously wrong, and it started going downhill since then. But then to find out he'd got this cancer, and then on that day of the pubcast, we'd been up to see the specialist at the hospital, and the specialist had turned around and said to my dad, basically the words that I didn't want to hear, that was basically, there's nothing we can do for you. At your age, it'd probably kill you off if we started trying to give you treatment. And I was like, I didn't know what to think, didn't know what to say. And I asked the doctor, I said, well, how long's he got? And he said, well, we're talking months rather than years. And it was a big shock, massive shock. So we came home that day and we talked and everything. And my sister, she said, well, in a sense, I'm glad he's got dementia because it won't be on his mind as much. And at the time, I was like annoyed at her saying that, because it was my dad, it was my best mate, and to say that. But as time's gone on, I've sort of thought, well, actually what she said makes a lot of sense, because it's not there at the forefront of his mind all the time. But yeah, as I say, that night, I just didn't know what to think, because 30 years prior to that, my mum had died of cancer. I just turned 21, and she got told she got cancer, and if she had treatment, she could live another 12 months. And she started having treatment, and then within weeks she was dead. So this cancer was something I didn't want to hear again. And then hearing my dad and my best friends got it, and there's nothing they can do for him. It just, that night I just hit the beer, and I hit the beer hard, the lagers. I was just, to be fair, I was pissed. And then I went on the photography podcast, and I was just talking a lot of nonsense and basically a load of bollocks. And I watched it when I'd sobered up, and I thought, why did you do that, Dave? Because people are going to think you're nobody tit. And as I say to the guys that are involved in the podcast, I've already said it, I apologise. And I do. I'm really sorry, guys. In hindsight, I wouldn't have done it. But my dad's still here at the moment. It's been since November, and he's doing his best, and he's fighting and struggling to stay alive. But the dementia is more of a problem actually than the cancer, because I've never experienced dementia, and boy, oh boy, is that one seriously crazy thing to have to put up with. It's doing my head in. In some aspects, it's really funny, and in other aspects, it's so depressing. From seeing the guy that was so fit, so active, so strong-minded, so strong-willed, to asking you what he's got to do next, and even go to the toilet. Can I go to the toilet? And it's a horrible, horrible disease. And it's been described as, what is it, the long goodbye. And it's depressing. really depressing thing to have to deal with. So at the moment, photography is definitely not on my mind. I can't get out. I go to work, my brother comes, looks after my dad, and when I come home from work, my brother goes. For those of you that know me, you know I drive buses part-time. So I can look after my dad anyway. And yeah, that's all that matters at the moment. But while I've been here on computer and that, because my dad tends to sleep a lot, so I'm up on computer. And I've got into a habit of really crazy collecting fragrances, which is something I never thought I'd do. Although back in the 80s, I used to like my fragrances. I used to get like the Mandates and your Aramises and stuff like that. And I was just watching a video and just recommended thing, and this guy there talking about fragrances, and it just clicked something in my head, and crazily I've started collecting fragrances. So I don't know whether you'd be interested in that, but yeah, couple of months and I've just gone crazy collecting fragrances. I don't know why. It don't make sense, but that's what I've been doing. So I may talk about them. I don't know. As I say, you might be interested, you might not. Probably not. I don't know. It's just my mind's all over the place at the minute. It's really doing my head in. But yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this video out, and I'm still here, guys. But as I say, my head is all over the place at the moment, and that's the reason why. Because I know that my best friend is not going to be here at some point, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Not all.